Hello guys, this is Daredevil and we have another gameplay video, this time playing patch 7.33D, actually the first game in the patch, and we could see this from the enemy Leshrac mid. That's a pick that I haven't seen in a very long while. He got some buffs. I don't think those buffs are significant, therefore I defaulted back to my main build this patch, which is 3 branches, 2 mantles and 1 circlet that we will make into a null talisman and get a blight stone as explained in the previous video, although I was debating whether I should use, I would need the wand or not, but I decided to go for the wand just to play it safe because it was my first match. As I said, I was not expecting, by the way, at this point I realized that he probably doesn't have a ward because he would have stopped the stun if he saw me running back. Just something you can notice. Also, he might be baiting this, but you never know. Usually not. As I was saying, the things that I face with an enemy's Leshrac usually is at the runes I cannot contest because, you know, he will press a lot, he will do a lot of damage, he can run you down, you're slow. There are a lot of such problems. As you can see, he tried to push the wave as much as possible. That means that he got the level 2 and he can harass. I knew that the courier was coming with a tango and I knew he could not kill me, so I tried to contest a bit more. Now I'm a bit afraid, I'm not certain. I would like to get the level 2 first. I'm playing very passive. As you can see, it took me a while to get level 2. That's what happens when the range creep survives. That's actually, I was surprised in the lane itself. When it happened I thought I lost a creep or 2. But that was not the case. And well, as I was saying, the problem with Leshrac is that one, it's very dangerous to try to take his rune because he can follow you and then he can kill you, because he can output a lot of damage. That's something he will usually do with Edict. Some Leshracs level Edict, but they don't immediately use it, so you're not certain they have it. I have been trapped by this 1 or 2 times. And secondly, he might rush you. Again, as you see, I'm immediately TPing. I don't even want to consider this. He doesn't have a point in Edict, but if I walked through here, I was either going to die or I was going to take a lot of damage. I didn't want neither, so I TP'd back to the tower. I'm pretty high, so I most likely won't die for 80 plus seconds. So it's fine. I mean, I had to take the rune. I almost denied this one, but the Forge Spirit died. Unfortunately, doesn't matter. So, another thing that you want to pay attention to is getting denies. Getting denies versus Leshrac, because you don't want him to hit some early levels, as he did here. And finally, that he will try to dive you when he gets levels plus the items that he wants. I could try to, you know, dodge with the spirit, but it's not fast enough. It would probably hit. So I decided to secure both creeps. As I said in the previous video, you want to secure the creeps that you can. Those are free CS. And now I'm thinking that, okay, I will take the wand and I will not take the blightstone, and I'll do what I have. Again, Leshrac is a very low armor hero. Even under tower, he is suffering quite a bit. Tower gives you 3 armor. Which is important, so if he was under the tower he would take a lot more damage, but still he takes enough and he is forced to lose some creeps, or at least you know, contest more. But another good idea is that when you have heroes like Leshracs, try to keep them at 80 to 60% HP so they won't be able to dive you, because then you have the ability to play with your spells and deal some damage. Again, as I was saying, it's the first matchup with Leshrac for a very long time. I don't know how the hero has progressed. Here I'm using the Force Spirit because I realized that I won't have enough damage to secure the last hit. Yep. Getting back to the previous point, you want to keep them below a certain threshold so you know that your spells will be effective, because your spells are not good enough to get someone from 100 to 0 while fighting. Again, trying to deny as much as possible. As you see, the lane is about equal. He should have an XP advantage because for the extra deny as well, but the Forge Spirit has died a couple times, which is similar for a ranged creep dying. Here I see that it jumped, so I wasn't certain that if the jump is de facto, meaning that vision does not matter, or it's just that he has a ward. But well, but as we can see, he had a ward, but he had it a bit upwards. We can see it from the map. It won't show. So almost got the ward, but didn't. Well, and I was unlucky because the buff creep died a bit. Was targeted first. Shit, I cannot speak English for some reason. Sorry, guys. I got the Sage's Mask. Let's try to be more articulate. Alright, I got the Sage's Mask, as I have explained multiple times. I could have gotten the raindrops. If you remember from the last video, I've said sometimes that I have to choose between Sage's Mask and raindrops. I decided to go for the Sage's Mask. Probably that was a mistake though. Versus Leshrac. I denied my Observer Ward because obviously he knew it was there and he tried to defend it. I got a bit unlucky with a catapult. Should have blocked the creep wave to make sure that the tower would get the 3 hits first. Again, I realized that the damage from lighting is quite high. The good thing, however, is that while he harasses the Forge Spirit, he doesn't have enough damage to kill me. As you can see, his mana is very low. That's what I have noticed. Which is something that I prefer. To be honest, I really don't want to die from Leshrac because he can snowball. So if I am to give him some extra farm, just to make sure that he won't have enough damage to dive me, I'm more than satisfied. At this point he is not far ahead, I'm 6, so I have 3 levels of quash, meaning that alright, I can do. In case he dives another tower, I can throw an ice wall and I can work with it. Here I placed the ward because I wanted to see whether he got the rune or not. If he didn't, I would run the other way, but I saw that he got double damage. However, he had very low mana, so he would be forced to go back and he will not be able to immediately turn around. Again, as you see, I can do a lot of damage, which was my hypothesis, that Leshrac is horrible with armor. He's just horrible and he will die very easily. So if I be able to be in a good position and deal some damage first and already have dealt that 20% minimum that I've explained before, then I will be able to get the kill. Sadly, Leshrac is also a very fast hero with boots, so he will be able to walk away from the Sunstrike. That was miscalculated, but well, that happens. Here I'm trying to pretend that I'm placing a ward in case he hasn't checked my inventory. Again, I'm not that afraid because I still have want. I'm using the Forge Spirit. I failed the deny, but when you get stunned by an enemy hero, the reason many times is that they want to stun you with their creeps hitting you. Because if you add it up, its melee creep is about 20 damage, and its range creep is about a bit more, but it does more damage. It's piercing, I think. I'm not sure how it's called. It's okay, it's piercing. Alright. So if the enemy creeps hit you, you're taking a lot more damage. And a good tactic is to stun the opponent, so your creeps can hit you. That's why you can see me many times use my Cold Snap Tornado Meteor combo in situations like this, because not exactly like this, but the enemy hero will drag your 3 melee creeps to kill the range creep, and you will be at this position killing his creeps. So if he kills his own creep, then that means that all the 3 melee creeps will target him next, because he is the only enemy unit next to them. This is a prime position to do the following: Tornado, Cold Snap, Meteor, because not only you will do all your spell damage, your right clicks, but also you will have the support of the melee creeps that will apply more procs of Cold Snap, unless the enemy hero is melee, because then it's tougher. The reason is they have the innate damage block, which means that if 20 damage gets blocked, the cold snap will not trigger because it needs at least 15 damage, if I recall. Okay, it's 10 damage after reductions in order to proc. So, especially versus ranged heroes, casting a Tornado Cold Snap Meteor combo here is extremely potent. Now I don't have Vex, so still, I know what I should do, right? I'm moving towards him in hope that he will try to move towards me, just so he wants to move up to, you know, pose a danger, pretend danger. But in case he misstepped, I would be able to get a kill, because I would walk at him, and I will cast the Cold Snap. As well, I will try to cast the Force Spirits a bit further behind, so that they wouldn't die to his ultimate. Again, I'm checking whether he moves up. In that case, I will use Ice Wall to be able to get back into tower safely. Perhaps he wants to play aggressive. If he wants, I can punish it. As you've seen, Leshrac is not very tanky. He gets dealt a lot of damage for a mid laner, so you want to use it to your advantage. And Blight Orb and Blightstone, sorry, is pretty good in this scenario. That's why I wanted to buy it. I opted for a wand. As you've seen, my initial hypothesis that the wand is not necessary was correct, but I wanted to play it more safe, to be honest, so okay, it's not that I have a huge regret. Now, at this point I remember that I had a choice between, how do you call this, the thing that gives you 5% spell amplification, that is for int heroes, and Spark of Courage. I opted for Spark of Courage. Why? Because 18 damage is a lot, and you can hit a lot harder with it. And when you get dropped low, a 7 armor I think is better. Some mana reduction and 5% spell amplification in my opinion is not enough to justify over extra damage. Again, I'm asking, do you want to come? The Force Spirit I will resummon. At this point it's very difficult for a Leshrac to kill me. I have to misplay it myself. And we can go to net worth. As you see, I'm up in net worth. Of course I used Midas, but well, okay, I went for Midas. I was a bit slow here. So, Leshrac probably understands that this matchup currently is not to his advantage. Okay, so since we have a DC, let me fast forward. But yeah, before, when I played against Leshrac, he could bully you a lot more. But currently I was correct in assuming that Leshrac is not as strong as he looks, at least in the lane versus Invoker. Again, I'm trying to be ward, checking out for Sunstrikes. Again, I'm letting him waste his mana and I respawn the Force Spirits before he kills them. And now I'm thinking, well, okay, you use a lot of your mana, now I can go in. Again, I don't want to push too much because I don't know the damn hero, but in any case, he survives just for a tiny bit. He had a bottle charge left. Normally he wouldn't, because I wouldn't sit here, I would just move up towards him. Again, I was not sure about the amount of damage that he can deal, so I played it passively and didn't get the kill as a result. Next time I will be a bit more aggressive, but I don't really regret this because, okay, I don't want to die to Leshrac. Okay, sorry. Currently, if he wanted to push, I could just use Wand and use Ghost Walk to run away. Try to move around. He didn't have enough damage to kill me fully, just by his spell. Again, I want to change my combo, but at this point I'm throwing the Sunstrike because I immediately invoke Tornado, right? If the Sunstrike hit, Rubik would drop around here, or even here, depends. How much does he have? Okay, he would lose some HP, but then I would be able to use a Tornado Cold Snap Meteor combo to kill him. That's why I used the Sunstrike preemptively. Sadly, I ended up giving it away, but you know, whatever. And now we're going for Octarine Core. I was actually surprised pleasantly that Octarine Core, although its build-up got nerfed for most heroes, it's actually buff for Invoker, because you really want the extra mana regeneration, so you have absolutely no problem buying the 2 Void Stones. It's absolutely fine, nothing changes, it just becomes better. Yeah, and currently I see that he has a lot of HP, so no really a point to go after him. Should be a bit more careful with my right flex, I should not lose scripts for no reason. And I think I lost this.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, well, I wanted to use life to get the last hit, I didn't cast it, so he goes now, sadly, I misplayed it, but Rubik dodged the Sunstrike. Now again I can do something here. For example, if he tries to move up, I can use Ice Wall, Cold Snap, Meteor. Now I'm trying to invoke Tornado, Ice Wall, Meteor, both combos can kill him at this point. But then I decide to move towards the bottom lane because I understand that we can fight. Right, I can use my spells on almost every hero they have, minus Juggernaut because, you know, he has Blade Fury, but everything else I can use, so I'm in a very good position to join a fight. Now, I'm invoking Sunstrike immediately, not just because I have Legion Commander on my team, who doesn't have Blink yet, but still I can use it as a first spell. I explained this in the last video, and then have it at the end of the fight as well. And then I can also use the rest of my spells during the fight. So let's see how this plays out. Immediately Sunstrike, I care for nothing else. I'm invoking Blast. Why? Because Meteor takes some time to fall down. Blast is immediate, it can push back a bit units, cause a bit of a chaos. I was debating whether to use it on Doom or not to secure the dual damage. It took me some time because I thought he would die. Now I have Tornado ready. I have nothing else than a setup, so I'm clicking the Meteor to fall upon Rubik. Again, we can keep going. I don't think I hit the Ice Wall, although the placement was correct. And now, as you can see, Sunstrike is up again, and this is like a prime example of what I was talking about. I can use it again, secure the triple kill, and basically I think this fight pretty much won us the game, because it secured the advantage that we already have. And their lineup, I feel very comfortable going into the late game against them. Now I realize that the courier didn't bring an item because I was full of items, so I have to sell this. That's the problem with Octarine, you have to deal with a lot of these things. I should also send the wand to be sold, but whatever.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Always put your courier to sell your items, because you know you might bring it back without knowing. I get a lucky stack for no, it was not intentional, it was just luck. And now I'm about to finish the Octarine Core, and then we will keep fighting. I will go for the travels because, you know, the extra HP is good enough, and I will be able to fight this game with no items. I don't need items to fight in this game, that's the greatest advantage that I have. They are a team that wants to move towards you, both Bounty and Doom, endless rack, and you just have to be in the right position to cast your spells. You need nothing else, you don't need blinks, you don't need force staffs, you don't need BKB, you just need to be in the right position and you will be able to have output. It's a very favorable game for Invoker that you don't usually see. Again, I'm waiting. Now I'm doing two things that's very interesting. Okay, I want to point this out. As you can see, I'm waiting for the arcane boots to come off cooldown to use them one last time, but at the same time I'm giving alacrity to the Forge Spirit to push in case Leshrax moves back, And while he does that, I invoke Tornado. Right? I'm doing two things at the same time. Okay, now I'm splitting up, immediately Cold Snap. Now I have two Forge Spirits here, Alacrity is going to run out. But if Leshrac comes, I have the Octarine already, and I have my spells set up and ready to go. That's some automatisms that you have to get used to in order to play Invoker at the highest level. You have to get used at these things. I know it might seem a simple thing to hear, but it's a very hard thing to do, and you will probably forget about it a lot of times. Again, as you can see, I used Sunstrike. Immediately I have 3 points of quash. Why? Because I want to get quash left, and then I will press W twice. Alright, I got a brain freeze. It's twice, right? Okay, it's twice. I can do this, but I cannot say it. And then get Tornado and be ready to use another combo to the next opponent that might show. This is how you can become effective with your Invoke when it has a higher cooldown. Very, very important things to keep in mind. I'm using a Cold Snap just to get the assist. Although I think I'm getting the entire assist goal without needing to have an assist, I don't want to assist. Sadly, I don't have a TP. It's a mistake. I got greedy and wanted to get the travels immediately. The good thing is that I got both with Sunstrike, so if both die I get double the assist gold, which is significant.
Radiant's top tower.
But Leshrac seems to have turned things around. He got 13. Me almost at 14, at a good point in time. I don't have a problem with levels that much. I'm already active, so levels are less important than usual. They are still very important, of course, but less important than usually. Now I can move towards the bottom lane. I'm thinking, actually debating whether I should go top or bottom. I decide to go bottom, defend the tower in case he tries to push it, and then kill Juggernaut. Now I want to respond the Forge Spirits. I fucked up. And look at my spells. It's Alacrity, Forge Spirits, Sunstrike, Cold Snap. And look what I'm going to prepare. I'm using Sunstrike on the left because I want to use Snap first. And what I want to invoke against Juggernaut specifically is Deafening Blast. Why? Because if you hit him before he Blades Fury, and reasonably he won't Blade Fury immediately, he will get some damage first, then try to Blade Fury away, right? He won't instantly press it. So if you start with Deafening Blast, you can secure him on the spot and land the Sunstrike as well. And this is why you want to swap your combo around versus Juggernaut. You want to go Blast, Sunstrike, then you want to invoke Tornado because you will hunt him down, and when you invoke Tornado, your next spell to invoke is Meteor. And then Tornado, Meteor, Ice Wall, and then you've used all your spells to kill Juggernaut at minute 17, which is extremely rare, no one's going to expect it, and it's probably going to work. That's the scenario that you are approaching the situation, at least. It's not meant to work 100% of times, obviously, and there's also a tower that they can TP to, so I'm just trying to push my luck under the best circumstances possible. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, I'm seeing nobody, so, well, Alacrity ran out, so I'm going to farm the creep wave and get back into action. Again, I have Sunstrike ready, then I use it. Sadly the creep got drawn like that. I didn't get the kill, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm pushing the lane, and look what is happening. I'm using... I'm having... sorry for pausing again, but it's important to point these things out before events happen on screen, if they happen. I have Ghost Walk and Tornado. So, why have both of them? Because if Doom blinks, TPs and blinks on me, the first thing I'm going to do is press Ghost Walk. I have my left thumb, point finger, into the D button, ready to press it. At this point, if so he blinks, I will immediately go into Ghost Walk. But if he has dust, he will try to dust and doom me. That's why I have Tornado. Then I can throw the Tornado, press an Ice Wall, and just run back, and I'm safe. So, a two, line defense. Now I'm trying to push the lane. I wanted to use Alacrity and Force Spirits, but I saw the time ran out, so I just waited a tiny bit so I can resummon them again. I almost fuck up because I moved too forward. I know that probably now people will TP to kill me because they know I'm bottom, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm killing a camp while having the Force Spirits act as a beacon, like you know, an observer ward, just in case someone comes over, so I can move around. And now I'm using them as observers, so I want to see if someone is TPing on me or not. And I immediately see both Leshrac and Juggernaut, and immediately resummoning the Force Spirits so they don't get any gold. That's how I'm protecting my area, and now I can move back and farm and prepare for the tower defense. Of course, this is a movement they can guess, so I still want to play it safe. I'm using the Force Spirits up front, and now I'm on the left. Now I see Leshrac walking, and I'm thinking, okay, perhaps they smoked and coming towards this side, because as I said, it's an easily guessable move where I'm going to go to farm. So I wanted to ghost walk, I see them not coming, so I go back. Now I see Bounty Hunter. We could kill them here if he insisted a bit. We could get a fast kill. I could use Cold Snap, Ice Wall, run back, prepare Tornado in case someone blinked, and if not someone blinked, I can use a Meteor on Bounty and keep Tornado as a safe measure. That's the plan in my head at this moment. Still, I'm trying to farm a bit. I know that Bounty is somewhere close. Probably they're trying to scout this area. And they probably have wards, right?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
My next item is going to be Blink. Two reasons. Why I'm making Blink? Okay, there's not just two reasons, more reasons. Let's see the fight first, I will explain later. Now I'm thinking, okay, can I TP? Is he going to die? It doesn't seem like he's going to die that fast. I have my spells ready already, as you can see. So, a full combo to two heroes. Deny the Legion commanders. Ghost walk out because Bounty wants to survive, so he doesn't have track on me. And we're safe. And actually pulled a very nice play. Now, the reason I want to get Blink is 1, positioning. 2, I can have security from Doom and rotations because I can blink in and out as I want. As I'm saying, positioning is extremely important when you play Invoker, and blink is a must-have item. It also helps you farm a lot faster. I think it's the most farm efficient item after Octarine in this patch, because it gives you, because you have a lower cooldown on Alacrity, you have a lower cooldown on Blink, you move fast with travels, so you can move all around the map and farm as fast as possible. So it's a good farming tool as well. Then, during fights, what combos can I use with Blink specifically to make sure that I can kill an enemy? A very good combo is to have the two spells that I currently have, Alacrity, Cold Snap, and then you can go with Forge Spirits, and you can Blink on top of the enemy support. Let's say Rubik uses Lift and he's alone. Blink on top of him with Alacrity, Forge Spirit, Cold Snap, potentially Ice Wall, optionally, probably not needed because you're on top of him and he has nothing to do. You kill him by hitting him to death. So this is a good second move, right? You don't want to initiate the fight with this because you can get counter-blinked and doomed, but when the fight breaks out and you know the initial phase is over, spells are casted, and you can go in, and you know that if I go in I won't die. So you go in, you take the kill. Blink is a very powerful item to do that as a second step, or even as a first step if you want to bait things out, but you have to have a very good map awareness to know where the enemy is and whether you can pull it off or not. So you can also go in. That means that at step 1 you can use all your other combos, which is Tornado, Cold Snap, Meteor, Sunstrike in case the enemy duels. Now, what I'm trying to do here, look at my spells. Alacrity the Legion Commander. Immediately I'm invoking Meteor, and I'm sitting in a position. I see, alright, I see this. Ghost, if he didn't pull the spin, because he pulled the spin off, Legion should use Blink, I think, more effectively. I would Blink in, Sunstrike, Meteor, immediately on the dual target, he's dead, and we can reset the fight. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to throw Sunstrike, Meteor not that much, because he has the Blade Fury, but I see more heroes on top of him, so I'm going to throw the Meteor, I'm going to kill Doom, because the Ice Wall fell first, the Doom was very bad, so I'm able to use my spells get the entire Doom duration on me, and then reinitiate the fight. Now what I want to do, what I said before, Forge Spirit on top of the enemy. Okay, this is close to it, not exactly, but the principle is the same. I'm actually getting lucky enough to hit the perfect as well, right? It hits them right in between. So, again, on top of him, what can he do? He can't do nothing. He's a support that uses his spells, and he's a squish support, and usually Rubik counters Invoker. Now, I'm gonna use the, I'm gonna show off a bit, just for the sake of it. But I think that was a very, very good fight to play as Invoker. I think I did extremely well in this game. I don't usually say this, but because I'm a player that really likes to farm. But I think my team fight early in this game, it's one of the best I had for a long time. And I think this is the reason why I've gained so much MMR. I've learned how to fight early with Invoker when other people think they need items, but you don't necessarily need items. You need to be able to read the team compositions. That means that you understand Dota fundamentally. And okay, see what I'm doing here. We guess that Juggernaut is farming Ancients. I do not want to keep the Sunstrike for the last hit. I want to make sure that the Legion Commander knows what is happening. So I'm using a Sunstrike, I'm having Ghost Walk. Why? Because if I blink in, okay, I cannot blink in now because I used it, but I can walk in, throw a meteor on top of him, which I'm going to do. Although it's not necessary because Legion will get the kill either way, okay? But in any case, I can invoke another spell, whatever spell it is, and then I can Ghost Walk out because Doom still exists. Although I know that it doesn't have Doom available, there are other heroes that can stun lock me because I don't have BKB. So this is how I'm playing without BKB, by always keeping in mind how I can get away. See, Legion is doing a lot of damage. No need, just no need. The meteor was just for safety precautions. If it so happened, I would throw it. Again, I'm going to push the lane. Not worrying too much because I know that Doom is still down. Again, I'm gonna move my mouse because for some reason I always end up putting it in that place.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well-gotten gain.
And by the way, in this game we have a Naga who doesn't have to do anything at all, right? Anything at all. Again, I'm Singless Rack. I know that he has a BKB 8 seconds. So what I'm going to do, he has BKB, right? This is important. Enemy mid laners do not want to use BKB immediately off the go because they know that once it runs out, they're fucked. So people will be greedy. Even in this high MMR, people will become greedy and think, okay, if I don't use BKB till he throws meteor on me, I'm safe because he can't kill me. That's not the case though, as you're about to see. Now, look at my spells. I should have used Unlucky. I'm using Sunstrike first. Why? Because he was about to go high ground. And I wanted to see, will he use BKB to run away or not? Because it is very important for Legion to blink in and use duel. And I want to know, I prioritize information rather than using Cold Snap first. Okay. Secure the kill.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now I'm going to farm up, stack the camp as well to get more XP. Right. When you find an opening to farm Ancients, always farm Ancients with Invoker. It's extremely important. The amount of experience you get is extremely high. Cast Midas, be as much as effective as possible. We should have gone towards Roshan right now. So that's why I'm moving towards that place. I never pick edges with Invoker, never. 99 times out of 100, I never pick edges. If I pick edges, either I have a full physical build, which I do for the memes or for enjoyment, or unless I think it's necessary, or I don't know, I don't have buyback and it's 60 minutes in, so I'd rather have an edges to make sure I don't get burst off. But as a principle, I never ever want to get items on Invoker. I'm informed by Nada that Ruby has Song, so I want to be a bit, careful. Again, I wanted to trap them. Now I'm thinking Doom might blink in, so I immediately Ghost Walk and try to run out. I try to stay in position, but then I think that they might have an Observer Ward. Again, I don't want to get fucked by Doom, but if you look at the bottom up, he will TP bottom, so well, fuck it. And I decide to last hit a kill, just so I can get the Aghanim Scepter a bit faster.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So since Doom TP'd bot, we can push. And they're all dead, right? Definitely, also you never know if the buyback, so I want to be a bit safe. I'm sitting behind with Ghost Walk up at any time.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now since the tower died, I can use Ghost Walk to sit close to Naga. In case they dive him, Ice Wall, EMP, blink out. Again, as you can see, I'm trying to stay away so they don't, screw me up. Again. The Ghost Walk has bugged a bit, so it appears that I'm not invincible, but I'm not. Again, save Legion. Now I realize that I fucked up the Ice Wall, it didn't get slowed at all, tried to blast him back in, failed, but I didn't fail the placement of the meteors and he fell right in between of two of them, so he got double meteor damage and he died immediately. Again, I'm going to drag this guy back, I'm going to pay too much, and I'm going to play it safe. And I see that Leshrak's probably using a wand here actually, I think, or not. For some reason he healed up, but...
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top barracks is falling.
And we got the lane of Rax, we will get a second lane, and this is pretty much game over at this point obviously. It's very hard for them to come back.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
But what I wanted to express with this replay is the importance in the small details when playing Invoker. It's extremely important, and I think it's very hard to stress it out how important it is if I'm writing an article. I have to show in-game how important each micro decision is, and if you really want to play good Invoker, you have to get accustomed to those micro decisions to the point that they become part of your playstyle, right? And once they become part of your playstyle, the good thing is that you can add something more, and something more, and something more. And you reach the point where you do all these things almost mechanically. And that was the match. I will wait a bit to show you the end screens if you want to check details regarding whatever, I don't know. I'm gonna show you the scoreboard. But in any case, thank you guys for watching. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, it helps me a lot. If you have any question, as always, write down in the comment section. I will always answer an honest question, as honestly as I can myself. So, that was it. Thank you for watching and have a great day.